as though he had not heard him. They went side by side for about as far as a young man can hurl a disc from his shoulder when he is trying to strength them. Then Menelaus's mares drew behind him, for he left off driving for fear the horses should foul one another and upset the chariots. Thus, while pressing on in quest of victory, they must both come headlong to the ground. Menelaus then upbraided Antilochus and said, "There is no greater tracer living than you are. Go and bad luck go with you." The Phrygians say, "Not well that you have understanding, and come what may, you shall not bear away the prize without sworn protest on my part." Then he called on his horses and said to them, "Keep your pace, and slacken not. The limbs of other horses will vary sooner than yours, for they are neither of them young." The horses feared the rebuke of their master, and went faster, so that they were soon nearly up with others. Meanwhile, the Phrygians from their seats were watching how the horses went as they spurred the plain amid the clouds of their own dust. Idomeneus, captain of the Cretans, was first to make out to the running, for he was not in the thick of the crowd, but stood on the most commanding part of the ground. The driver was a long way off, but Idomeneus could hear him shouting and could see the foremost horse quite plainly, a chestnut, a round white star, like the moon on his forehead. He stood up and said among the Argives, "My friends, princes, and counselors of the Argives, can you see the running as well as I can? There seems to be another pair in front row now, and another driver. Those that led off to the start must have been disabled on the plain. I saw them at first making their way around the doubling post, but now, though I search the plain of Troy, I cannot find them. Perhaps the reins fell from the driver's hand so that he lost command of his horses at the doubling post, and could not turn it. I suppose he must have been thrown out of the broken chariot of his, while his mares have left the course and gone off wildly in a panic. Come up and see for yourselves. I cannot make out for certain, but the driver seems an Anatolian, by descent ruler over the Argives, brave Diomed, the son of Tydeus. Ajax, the son of Boreas, took him up rudely and said, "Idomeneus, why should you be in such a hurry to tell us about it, when the mares are still so far out upon the plain? You are none of the youngest, nor your eyes none of the sharpest, that you are always laying down the law. You have no right to do so, for there are better men here than you are. Eumelus' horses are in front row now, as they always have been, and he is on the chariot holding the reins." The captain of the Cretans was angry and answered, "Ajax, you are an excellent railer, but you have no judgment, and are wanting in much else as well, for you have a vile temper. I will wager you a tripod or pauldron, and Agamemnon, son of Atreus, shall decide whose horses are first. You will then know to your cost." Ajax, the son of Boreas, for making him an angry answer, and there would have been yet further brawling between them. Then not Achilles, risen in his place, and said, "Cease your railing, Ajax and Idomeneus. It is not seemly. You would be scandalized if you saw anyone else do the like. Sit down and keep your eyes on the horses. They are speeding towards the winning post, and will be here directly. You will then both of you know whose horses are first and whose come after." As he was speaking, the son of Tydeus came driving in, flying his whip lustily from his shoulder, and his horses stepping high as they flew over the course. And the sand and grit rained thick on the driver, and the chariot inlaid with gold and tin ran close behind his fleet horses. There was a little trace of wheel marks and fine dust, and the horses came flying at their utmost speed. Diomed saved them in the middle of the crowd, and the sweat from their manes, chest, fell in streams to the ground. Forthwith he sprang from his goodly chariot and leaned his whip upon his horse's yoke. Brave Sthenelus now lost no time, but at once brought on the prize and gave the woman and the ear-handled cauldron to his comrades to take away. Then he unyoked the horses. Next after he came in Antilochus of the race of Neleus, who had passed Menelaus by a trick and not by the fleetness of his horses. But even so, Menelaus came in as close behind him as the wheel is of a horse that draws both the chariot and its master. The end hairs of the horse's tail touch the tire of the wheel, and there is never much space between wheel and horse. When the chariot is going, Menelaus was no further than this behind Antilochus. Through at first he had been a full distance throw behind him. He had soon caught him up again for Agamemnon's mare. If he kept pulling stronger and stronger so that the course had been longer, he would have passed him, and there would not even have been a dead heat. Idomeneus' brave squire Ronas was about a spear's cast behind Menelaus. His horses were slowest of all, and he was the worst driver. Last of them came the son of Admetus, dragging his chariot and driving his horses in front. When Achilles saw him, he was sorry and stood up among the Argives, saying, "The best man is coming in last, so let us give him a prize, for it is reasonable. He shall have a second, but the first must go to the son of Tydeus." Thus did he speak, and all the others, all of them applauded his saying, and were for doing as he had said. But Nestor's son, Antilochus, stood up and claimed his right from the son of Peleus. Achilles, said he, "I shall take it much amiss if you do this thing. He would rob me of my prize, because you think Eumelus' chariots and horses were thrown out, and himself too. Good man that he is, he should have prated only to the immortals. He would not have come in last if he had done so. If you are sorry for him, so choose. You have much gold in your tents, with bronze, sheep, cattle, and horses. Take something from the store, and he would have the Phrygians speak well of you, and give him a better prize, even than which you have now offered. But I will not give up the mare, and he will fight me for her. Let him come on." Achilles smiled as he heard this, and was pleased with Antilochus, who was one of his dearest comrades. So he said, "Antilochus, you would have me find Eumelus another prize. I will give him the bronze breastplate with a rim of tin running all round it, which I took from Acerpeus. It will be worth much money to him." He bade his comrade Automedon bring the breastplate from his tent, and he did so. Achilles then gave it over to Eumelus, who received it gladly. But Menelaus got up in a rage, furiously angry with Antilochus, and attending place his staff in his hands, and bade the Argives keep silence. The hero then addressed him. "Antilochus," said he, "what is this from who you have been so far blameless? You have made me cut a poor figure, and balked my horses by flinging your own in front of them, though yours are much worse than mine are. Therefore, O princes and counselors of the Argives, judge between us, and show no favor, lest one of the Phrygians say, Menelaus has got the mare through lying and corruption. His horses are far inferior to Antilochus, but he has greater weight and influence. Nay, I will determine the matter myself, and no man will blame me, for I shall do what is just. Come here, Antilochus, and stand as our precedent is within your hand before your chariot and horses. Lay off your hand on your steeds, and swear by the earth encircling Poseidon that you did not purposely and willfully get in the way of my horses." And Antilochus answered, "Forgive me, I am a much younger King Menelaus than you are. You stand higher than I do, and are a better man of the two. You know how easily young men are betrayed into indiscretion. Their tempers are more hasty, and they have less judgment. Make due allowances thereof, and bear with me. I will of my own accord give up the mare that I have won, and if you would claim any further chattel from my own possessions, I would rather yield it to you at once than fall from your good graces henceforth into wrong in the sight of heaven." The son son of Nestor then took the mare and gave her over to Menelaus, whose anger was thus appeased, as when you do falls upon a field of ripening corn and lands are bristling with a harvest.